Good afternoon. Welcome to News Now. My name is Stanley Nyaringita. I trust that you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome. We'll be giving you the latest updates in news in the country and beyond, starting off with the highlights. Coming up on News Now. Director of Public Prosecutions Ranson Igonga has requested a postponement of the hearing in the murder case involving Officer Clinzy Masinde Baraza, who is accused of fatally shooting Boniface Kariuki. The body of Jane Wambui Njoroge, who was the pediatric head nurse at Naivasha Hospital, has been found today in a shallow grave behind her home after being missing for a week. And burial preparations are in progress for Kenya's Chief Kadhi Sheikh Abdullahim Hussein Athman, who died on Wednesday night in Mombasa. A 15-minute bulletin starts right now, where Director of Public Prosecutions Ranson Igonga has requested a postponement of the hearing in the murder case involving Officer Clinzy Masinde Baraza, who is accused of fatally shooting Boniface Kariuki during an incident that occurred on the 17th of June 2025. The court has ruled that the case will now be heard on the 28th of July, pending completion of the mental health assessment of the accused.
Following the information by the DPP, so the second respondent hearing will be set at liberty unless otherwise lawfully held. Furthermore, the first respondent will be remanded awaiting his arraignment before the High Court to face the murder charges that have been preferred by the DPP. So I hereby mark this file.
Meanwhile, the Muslim community and the judiciary continues to mourn the death of the country's Chief Kadhi, Abdullahim Hussein, who was reported to have passed away early this morning around 12:05 a.m. Burial preparations are underway, with the late cleric expected to be laid to rest this afternoon. We now join our reporter, Ofula Quinto, who is in Mombasa, rather actually just listening in to live this particular preparations which are underway for these particular details.
Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. We're coming to you live from Nuru Bondeni Mosque here in Mombasa CBD, and just as you've mentioned, it is Salah or prayers for the late Chief Kadhi, who just the news of his passing away was informed that there is the night today at night. So we are here, and a lot of Muslims have gathered here for the Al-Asr Salah, where after here the late will be laid to rest at Kikoani Cemetery. Back to you.
أشهد أن محمد رسول الله.
Our boots on ground in Mombasa, Quinto Fuller, will be following up on that for a primetime news. We'll be giving you that later on. Meanwhile, Kiharu Member of Parliament Ndindi Nyoro has blamed the government, saying it must take full responsibility for the chaos, loss of lives and destruction of property witnessed across the country during Monday's Sabasaba protests. Speaking at Wanjegi in Kiharu, Nyoro questioned the role of the National Intelligence Service, revealing that taxpayers fund the sector to the tune of 50 billion Kenyan shillings annually. He said it is unacceptable for the government to claim it was caught unaware by Monday's unrest, adding that this points to intentional inaction by those in power. He called on the government to take full accountability, whether by commission or omission, for the events that unfolded. Nyoro further noted that the roadblocks mounted by security agencies on Monday indicate the state was well aware of who was behind the looting and arson, yet allowed perpetrators access to businesses and public spaces.
The government is squarely responsible for either omission or commission. Na mwanza kupea Wakenya tu story mingi kila wakati. We can see through the lies. We can see through, and we know for sure either the government was involved or it abetted those crimes and criminalities. Siku ya Monday ni serikali peke yake ilikuwa inalinda mabarabara zetu zote. Kama ni serikali ililinda mabarabara, wale walipita kuchoma mali ya watu, walipita wapi? Walipita wapi? And nataka kuuliza pia madugu zangu wale wanahudumia Wakenya katika serikali. You may be learned, but the people of Kenya are equally learned. You have benefited in the past by dividing Kenyans. This time round, there is no Kenyan who will hate the other Kenyan for anyone to benefit. Some of the narratives being crafted are crafted using government machinery, using government resources, both human resources and monetary resources. Na pesa ya Wakenya hatutakubali itumike ati serikali yenyewe ndio inaleta narratives za kugawanya Wakenya. Kama mtu anataka watu wagawanyike, aende agawanye kwake, sio kwa Wakenya. We cannot afford to feed the government that continues to divide Kenyans, to segregate other Kenyans, and to make mayhem on the people of Kenya. We can see through your eyes, and you are not going to succeed.
From Kihari, let me take you to Naivasha, where the body of Jane Wambui Njiroge, who was the pediatric head nurse at Naivasha Hospital, has been found today in a shallow grave behind her home after being missing for a week. Detectives in Naivasha arrested her housemate, who confessed to what had happened.
We add up.
And there, that is where we embarked on our investigations, where we were able to arrest one suspect who led us to where the deceased was buried, and that is why we are here.
Amekuwa ni msichana mpole na amekuwa anaongea pole pole, hatukuwa ifikiri. Tulifikiri amekuwa msichana mpole hivyo kwa sababu ya shida iliyoko katika nchi ya kiuchumi. Hatukuwa ifikiri.
Ni vyema tupendane, maana mahali tumefika ni upendo umetoka kabisa kwetu. Hivyo Mungu atusaidie tuendelee kupendana, kwa sababu kama tungependana haya hayangetokea.
For now we don't have the reason as to why she was killed, and that is why I'm saying we are still carrying on with our investigations. We'll be able to know that later.
Meanwhile, Gitonga Mukunji, the Member of Parliament for Manyata, and two other suspects will end their fate today at the Kahawa Law Courts. Mukunji and his co-accused face terrorism-related charges. The case is ongoing, and Magistrate Kipkemoi Koech will decide whether they will be released on bail or not.
To court, a few issues for its consideration as in support of our application to curtail the liberty of the respondents pending plea. Your Honor, the limitation of this right is provided by the Constitution under Article 49, and several things can happen in that article. That one, the respondent upon arrest must be presented to court within 24 hours, can be charged upon presentation before a court of law, can be released unconditionally.
More updates to follow in our subsequent bulletins from matters from the corridors of justice to health matters. And the National Cancer Institute of Kenya, led by its chairman, Timothy Olweny, has called for the promotion of better research and policy dialogue with both national and county governments. It also urged greater public engagement to develop actionable strategies for cancer control. Olweny reiterated that insufficient funding for cancer care and disparities within Kenya's healthcare system remain major challenges. The media was highlighted as a catalyst for change, playing a crucial role in amplifying cancer awareness campaigns by educating the public on treatment options and sharing survivor stories and expert insights. These remarks were made during an event serving as a curtain raiser for the second National Cancer Summit, scheduled for the 27th of July 2025. The summit will emphasize its role in driving a national dialogue on cancer prevention, early detection, treatment, and survivorship.
In terms of talking about the fragmentation that we have within our healthcare system in terms of how patients access care, it is important for us to dismantle those barriers in the cancer care ecosystem like I've mentioned. We also have to develop an equitable and integrated health system.
We cannot treat cancer comprehensively if we are struggling to treat malaria, diarrhea, diabetes, hypertension. We definitely must make sure that our diagnostics are at the best at all levels.
Treatment is curative and manageable when cancer is caught early, and also the cost of treatment is not as high. For me, one thing I urge my people is, let's go for screening when screening is called upon. Let's engage and have a conversation with all the stakeholders in the cancer space.
There is a lot of stigma in the society. We as the cancer survivors, we stand in the gap so that for those who are on with the treatment, when they see us, they really come out clearly to say that if Mercy has survived for the 20 years, I can also walk the journey.
Across the borders to the world of sports, Spanish giants Real Madrid correct. Chelsea fans, pretty sure know you have lost this one. But anyway, to matters tennis, veteran tennis star Novak Djokovic will be hunting history as he seeks to win very much for being part of News Now. My name is Stanley Nyaringita. This and more news updates coming your way during our primetime news at 7 and 9 p.m. and also your weekly dose of environmental issues on Green Fix with Shiksharora.